Shut up and sit down.
Welcome to the Bricks King podcast, where I'm going to bend your ear about Lego, review those amazing bricks and plastic, and discuss what is new and up and coming around the Lego world. I'm your Minifigure Matt. Let's build on it. Welcome in, everybody. How are we doing today? Today, I am joined by an awesome guest. Of course, you know who this person is, but you're gonna have to wait unless you read the description. Crap! Then it's already out. Anyway, so we are joined today by April B, and we are talking about the 51 Lego idea sets, that are up for review for the upcoming year. And there's a lot of good stuff, and there's a lot of not good stuff. But I'm going to let you determine what you think. Make sure, as I mentioned in here, make sure you guys pull up brick set or Lego ideas and you follow along so you have an idea of what you're looking at, because it's a lot of stuff and it's a lot of information. So without further ado, let's kick off into it. Here we go. Hi, April.
Hi, Matt.
I asked you to come on to, I just want to talk about these ideas projects, and you said yes. And there were 51 projects that qualified for this second round of Lego ideas for 2022. It's a lot. I mean, we've seen many, many, many more. And I intentionally didn't chat with you too much about them because I want to get raw reactions and stuff. But the winners of this, we won't find out until February of 2023, which actually, I can't believe 2023 is only a few months away.
That's crazy. This year has flown by.
I know. Like the last 3 months, I'm like, crap, what happened? So we're going to go through them. Those of you that are listening, you can, probably the easiest way is to go check out Brickset, or, that way you don't have to log into like Lego Ideas or whatever. But you can go to Brickset or Lego Ideas, or probably a number of other publications that have it. But Brickset has some pretty good stuff to be able to look at. So April, I'll let you lead off with the first one. Because I don't know. I've never seen this movie, so I don't have any frame of reference.
You've never seen Lilo and Stitch?
No, I have
really? Not. Yeah, no, I mean, I think it looks good. I don't know how much of a chance it's got, but we have already had the Stitch minifigure in the Disney CMF line. I think it was the first series of them. I mean, it's cute, but I think there's a lot of other contenders that would be a better fit.
I think there's a lot of heavy hitters that are that you really got to compete with. And they took one the last round. Mm-hmm. So it's like, oh, crap, if they only take one, 50 of you are going home crying. But I also didn't really, I was looking at the house and everything, and, trying to get an idea of a scale of the size. And I'm really struggling to figure out like just exactly how big this thing really is. It feels like an old, you would get like a bucket of bricks. Lego used to do the plastic buckets, and they would have instructions in there for like a generic house, like with a few red pieces for the roof. And that's kind of what it feels like. The house, I'm not saying that's what it is. It's just kind of what it feels like. But I did like the printing on the minifigs. I thought was really nice.
Oh yeah.
Just different. It's different than the typical minifig. So I like that. And then, like you said, we've already got the Stitch minifig before, so. I don't know. It's going to be tough.
Yeah.
What about the Indiana Jones Raiders of the Lost Ark? I can't believe it's the 40th anniversary. Believe it or not, I've never seen these movies. I know.
Really?
I know. I know. I was a 80s, 90s baby, and I'm trying to make my way down a list of movies that I haven't seen that are like classics. And I just haven't. But I do like the vignette style here. I think that works. I think that's something that, while I don't think it's going to get made due to some IP stuff, I do like the style of it.
I do too. Well, and it seems like Lego's kind of been playing around with that with Star Wars stuff recently. So it's definitely a decent road to explore if you're going to put something up on ideas.
Yeah, I like that idea. No pun intended. What about the motorized steampunk skyship?
I love this.
It's pretty cool, isn't it?
the steampunk stuff in Lego looks so cool to me, but it's so parts intensive. This would be a remarkably expensive set, I think.
I think we're probably looking at close to $400 because there's a lot of
Yeah.
big pieces in there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, hull
It-
stuff and just big old pieces. I like it. It reminds me of the sea cow from the first Lego movie.
Mhm.
That's why you like it, isn't it?
It is.
It is. I know it. I was waiting for you to put it out there to begin with, but no. Just due to the sheer fact of what I think it's going to cost, I think it's going to be cost prohibitive for the ideas team, honestly.
Yeah, agreed.
What about the next one?
So we've got the auto repair garage. It's
1930s
interesting.
though.
It's feels very busy to me. Like I don't see a specific focal point. Everything's just kind of like all over the place.
I
It's
think it's
cute.
yeah, I think it's cute. I think it's a great mock. I think this is something you would see at a Lego show and you'd be like, oh, that is really cool. I just
Mhm.
don't really see this as being a model that gets created. I think it's while it looks great, I think there's probably some really cool techniques on the inside to this build. I think it's probably too far outside of the realm of what they're going for.
Mm.
But who created this Lego CEO? I like the project. I think it's really sharp.
Yeah, I really like the car in it. That's
Yeah,
very spot on.
that is really sharp. Hey, I would go for some 1930s models like race cars or anything like kind of street rod, hot rod type stuff. I would go for. What about the escape game Carter's Secret by Brick Project?
This is interesting to me.
Yeah.
I didn't look into this too far to see if this was based upon something, but it looks very like haunted housey almost.
I was gonna say it reminds me of Monster Fighters meets Harry Potter.
Yeah.
It's a nice little mashup. I really like the different colors for the roof, something different. That's where I
love
feel
the
the
color
Monster
scheme.
Fighters. Oh, it's great.
Mhm.
And then you have that big radio telescope or whatever the hell that thing is. I have no idea. It's sticking out the side, but it's pretty cool. And I like the I don't know if this is intentional. Maybe it was done in the graphics or whatever. It had to have been done by graphics, but the neon glow, the green glow down in the corner, I think is pretty neat.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be cool if you could accomplish that with a light brick.
We don't have green light bricks, do we?
No, but I was thinking like if there's a way to put a filter over it or something, but I don't know how that works. Yeah, I like it. I would love to see this made. This would be perfect for me just to like set up during Halloween time.
Mhm.
Like everybody has their Christmas type stuff displays. I love doing the Halloween stuff too.
Yeah.
Fishing in Muddy Waters by Ralph. I'm not going to try Rangall.
Mm. It looks a little too medieval to me,
Yeah.
but I like it. I love medieval stuff, but this feels like it's pushing a little too close to that for them to make it.
Yeah, I think it's too close to home for them. And I know they did whatever the blacksmith shop and stuff like that, but I think you and I have had this conversation many times. I still think there's more coming in way of, this kind of time period and stuff. So it's a neat little build. And then you got studs on the side for the water.
The roof. The
Oh
rounded
my
roof.
God. That is so great. That was the first thing I noticed when I started flipping through these. I was like, oh wow.
Yeah.
That took some math involvement.
Mhm.
Man, it's sharp. I'll let you handle the next one.
The Lisbon tram. I really like this. And I feel like it would have a decent shot actually, because there's a lot of city builders who could just plunk that right down in their city and it'd look great.
Well, now, if I'm not mistaken, I can't remember what it's called. Is it called Mills? The Mills template that they use? If I'm not mistaken, I think this is pretty darn close to it, if this is not it. Just looking at the side profile of it, of the base plate build and stuff. I like this. When I saw this, I immediately thought the same thing. I was like, this would go perfect with, things that are out or things that have come out recently. I think like Winter Village stuff, this kind of fits to a certain degree. I like this. Just even the small little side builds of stuff like the lights and the little flowers and, the cart, the bench, everything is really well built. I'd be okay with this. I'd be absolutely okay with this. Now we get into medieval again. The alchemist, medieval alchemist.
I love this. I love it. It's so
Yeah.
cool.
I love the color of the roof right there and the animal paw pieces that they used there. I think was awesome. We've seen, like, I know they've got the Nexo Knight shield around the top and stuff, and we've seen that kind of stuff, but seeing the paw prints for like the thatched roof, that's incredible. We need more of that. What do you think the probability is of this? Same as kind of the other one?
Yeah. I think it's probably low. I think it would be a great companion piece for something like the blacksmith. But yeah, I think once they've hit something like that, the odds are pretty low that they're going to get to something medieval again after the blacksmith soon. Especially if out of 51 submissions, you're going to pick one and it's going to be something so similar to something still in production.
Yeah. So this next one, I'm taking this one here. And here's why. I did some research. I had no idea what the hell orrery was. I had to Google it to find out how do you say it the right way. I was like, I'm going to say it the wrong way. So those of you that don't know what an orrery is, it is a mechanical model of a solar system that illustrates or predicts relative positions and motions of planets and moons, etc., etc. I thought this was neat. Now, this is a smaller one. There's some that have oodles of, pieces to it. But I like the compactness of it. The sun could use some work. Earth isn't too bad, but the sun could use a little work to me. I like the little moon sticking out there.
Yeah, right.
I thought that was kind of funny. At first, I was like, that's the moon. But I like it. I think it's neat. I love this mechanical working stuff that you can put out and display. This would be perfect for like a shelf. For like a science teacher or just anybody that likes putting stuff on a shelf. Like I've got, I don't know where my globe is. It's behind me somewhere. But
then on that note, is that too close to having the globe?
That's what I thought. And I was like, I know it works and functions in the model and stuff like that. Here's my what I really think it would need. I think you need less chunk of like the sun and the earth. I think it has to be more spherical to a certain degree, and it needs, I don't know how you do that. I'm not nitpicking. I'm not saying it sucks or anything. I honestly think that's what it would take to be able to accomplish it becoming a set. And then you also, like you said, you run into the same issue of, is it too close to the globe? I know it's not the globe, but is it too similar in that vein to, end up being something that doesn't get made?
Yeah.
All right. The next one, you do this real quick. I've got some references here.
So this is Labyrinth.
Number 10.
Now, please tell me that you've seen Labyrinth.
Yes.
Okay, because you were 0 for 2 before, so
I was 0 for 2. So now I'm 1 for 3. I'm getting there.
I really like this a lot. I saw a long time ago, I feel like this has been up for a long time on ideas, because I saw the creator actually make some content on how they created like the base with all the little scenes and things down there.
Yeah.
I think this is brilliant. Not entirely sure it'll get made, but
is
I love the build techniques.
Henson's is a Disney property now, right?
It is.
Yeah. Okay. So at least Lego's got the Disney IP in hand.
Mm-hmm.
But I love the way this is done. I took a long time looking at this and just kind of studying how this was put together. And I think it's really cool. And I'm a big fan of this. I like the way it's done. And immediately, anytime I see something about the Escher room, all I keep thinking about is, in Family Guy, where you're going up the stairs and going down the stairs and going up the sideways stairs. And anyway, so yeah, for those of you that don't know what I'm talking about, here's a clip just so it explains it. But
going up the stairs and going down the stairs and going up the stairs and going down the stairs and going up the sideways stairs.
Okay, I don't think I can talk to you because right now you're making less sense than an MC Escher floor plan.
So, how's it coming? Are we going to finish on schedule?
I don't know, Mr. Escher. I've never put 6 stairways all in one spot, and I've lost like 10 of my guys in here.
Hey, I need a hammer. I hate this place. I quit.
But yeah, I hope this I would love to see this made. I don't care what the price point is on it. I don't care if it's $400. I would buy this.
It kind of makes me wonder though, because if I recall correctly, the way that they get studs on the underneath side of those stairs, those are 2x4 bricks, and then they put Technic half pins in
Yes.
the empty space, and then put
And then-
a plate on there.
Yeah.
Is that a valid build technique
I
by Lego designer standards? Obviously, there's always a lot of controversy about whether or not a build technique is illegal or legal.
don't
in my-
believe that it is. And Lego designers will tell you, well, you can do whatever you want. But when it comes to them, and I know that they have pushed boundaries with things being semi-legal with sets in the past, especially like kind of like with the idea stuff. I want to say it's a not legal, not illegal, but I want to say it's not a legal. Those of you, if you don't know what I'm talking about, what we're talking about, legal meaning Lego designers have a certain house rules that they have to follow, and they can't just be like, you know what, I'm gonna take this penny and I'm gonna clip these two bricks together. Like they've got to. No, that was an exaggeration, but
Well, there's a standard that they go
Yes.
by to maintain clutch power and
yes.
how well the bricks stay quality.
I know that was a long answer. We went around the bush a few times, but I'm pretty sure that this is probably not a legal technique, but I'm sure there's a way it could be done. I'm sure there's a way it could be done. Now, this next one, the Working Polaroid Sun 600 LMS by Julian G12. Does anybody know what a Polaroid is anymore? I do. You do.
Yeah. They still make them, actually. They're just quite small.
Yeah, they're compact.
I love this.
I didn't even realize it had the photo there.
Yeah, and it actually comes out of the camera.
I love that.
It's great.
I'd be okay with it. Now, if
I
only
feel
they
like
could
it's a-
get some flash action.
Oh my gosh. I feel like that wouldn't be that hard with a light brick, though.
No, there's got to be a quick mechanism that you can click
Mm-hmm.
as you press the trigger or something. That would be something mechanism wise, like you could get along with a typewriter, but obviously you would have to squeeze it in a much tinier body.
Yeah.
But I like the thought of it. What were you gonna say? I'm sorry, I feel like I interrupted you.
Oh, I really like this, and I feel like it would look really good on a shelf, but I'm not entirely sure like what it would go with. Like I tried to think of if you were going to make a shelf display with this and other things, like even next to the typewriter, like the air is just not right for it. So
I agree. All right, the Lego Mushroom House by Jonas Cram. Those of you, if that name sounds familiar, it should. Jonas does a lot of stuff for New Elementary. If you don't know what New Elementary is, you can go check them out, newelementary.com. Jonas takes, like, I feel like all he did was take pieces that they have given him over the years and said, I want you to create the most weirdest thing out of these pieces. And it always happens. And I feel like he just took those pieces and was like, I'm going to make a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm looking at these connections and stuff and I'm like, yep, that's a New Elementary thing. That's what they do.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I really like this. I don't know. I like the whimsy of it.
Yes.
It's cute.
It reminds me of oh God, I'm drawing a blank here. The movie with Falcor.
Never ending story.
Never ending story. The little snail down there.
Yes.
That like that's immediately when I saw that, that's where it went in my head, and then I was like, it's got a touch of kind of like Mario and stuff, but with the mushroom obviously. But
Mhm.
I love it. I think it's pretty sharp. It's pretty cool. The Art Center. I don't know if you can consider this a true modular, but it feels like it's a modular.
Yeah. Is this hinged? I can't entirely tell, or is this like
I
like-
believe it's hinged, but I'm not sure. Like I was looking at it and I'm like, I don't know where the hinges are. Because
Yeah.
usually you would see something potentially on the outside.
right?
But then part of me is wondering, is there a way where it's kind of pinned together and you just slide it apart and then you just reassemble? Does that make sense?
Yeah. No, totally.
But I don't know. I don't know if this is like, hey, you can assemble it two different ways or what, but it's a neat idea. It's not going to get made. It's not going to get chosen, but I think it's a really neat idea.
Yeah, I think it's too close to modulars, and as we keep saying, like a modular is not going to get picked because
Well,
they only.
And I don't want to dissuade anybody from going the route of modulars, but at day's end, I just don't think if you walk down that alley, you're gonna get you're gonna get a big fat no. And while I love all these, it's just personally, if it were me and I made this and I spent my time and I made it really, really cool and everything, and I got to knowing kind of that, this is too close, I think I'd probably be like, smash it into pieces. I don't know. What about the next one? Come on, April. Get into the joy.
The world of civil engineering types of bridges. You know what? I'm sure that bridge architects would love this. Love it. It doesn't really have a place in my collection, just because I'm not crazy about architectural stuff. But
I don't see the beauty.
They are nice builds for what they are. I will give it that. Like, they're very well made. It's just not my style.
Yeah, I agree. And for that reason, I don't think it's going to get made. Unfortunately, we could probably go on longer, but I just, there's really nothing else for me that I can say. The University of Brickster. Yes, let's get some. I love this. Again, close to a modular, but I love the giant glass part of the building. I think it's so nice. And then you have the stained glass above. I love it.
I love these as two separate entities. I feel like they don't mesh well together. I don't know why.
They don't.
It feels like a very modern,
Well, maybe you've got like the traditional, university that was founded in like 1889, and then they came along and they did this renovation in 2010 and added on. And like, you know what? We're going to be a high-tech school now.
Right.
And then, yeah, I don't know. I'm just playing it up in my head, but I have no idea. I like it.
It is very well built.
It is very well built. The Tuscan Villa. God, there's a reference from a TV show here. Oh, it's from Seinfeld. One doesn't just, what does it say? Like the maestro. One doesn't just waltz around the Tuscan Villa or something. I don't know. I'm totally butchering it. Seinfeld fans are going to kill me for this. Assuming there's any of us still alive, since it seems like it's been forever ago. Anyway, thoughts on this?
Did we not have, you're going to have to remind me, in the designer program, did we not have like a Tuscan,
I thought we did.
Cityscape or something that was available? I didn't purchase anything in that round, but
I didn't either. I believe so. I'm not 100% sure though, but
I feel like
I do like it. It is sharp. I do like it. I mean, you and I were both at Brick World Chicago, and the roof, I think is what Martin had, that he was creating, that he had there, but that was in Kanto. That was completely something different. But I see a lot of similarities there, as far as just exterior. So, I think it's a no though. Just like I think the traditional Japanese village, which is next, number 17. I think that's an absolute no. Unfortunately, I don't think it's great. It's cool looking. It speaks Ninjago. It speaks Monkey Kid, but it doesn't speak Getting Made.
Yeah, I think that's what is problematic to me, is that it's too close to the other things that they're already exploring. I mean, even like we're getting those sort of Asian themes in like City. We've got the little noodle shop that's out right now. So, I mean, they're really heavily exploring that. So that could be something in its favor too, right?
It could. Yeah, absolutely. It could. Maybe they're trying to touch into something different. The thing that I find interesting is, and one of the things I keep coming back to, with these themes that are already out there, Monkey Kid, a lot of their sets have these small buildings, and the intent behind it was so that you could kind of create like a cityscape to, people that like to build things and set them up. And that's kind of what it feels like here, just in a bigger scale. But I'd be okay with it. I just don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah.
And the next one, I can tell you right now, I don't think this is happening. If this happens right now, I will come on here and eat crow. Not a real crow. I will bake a cake like a crow, and I will, we'll do a live stream show or something like that, and I'll sit here and I'll eat the crow. I just don't think it's going to happen. Not the real crow.
Don't eat a real crow. You might have some animal activists or something.
Some problems. I might have some problems.
Well, okay. So this isn't the first iteration of the Krusty Krab that has been on ideas. And I think, I don't know if it's the same person that's resubmitting or what, but we have had a SpongeBob Krusty Krab when SpongeBob was an IP that Lego was exploring.
Yeah.
It was not my favorite model by any means, and this is much more this is a much more eloquent version of that.
It is.
But how many times do we see a playset get revamped?
Many times.
Well, like this.
Right. Okay. So I looked at it and I thought this looks way more finished than maybe the previous submission of the same designer or not, but it feels much more finished than what previous Krusty Krabs that I've seen on Lego Ideas.
Yeah.
I just don't think it's going to get made. It's nice, but so to me, it's not as iconic as like Sesame Street. Everybody watched Sesame Street when they were growing up. Not everybody watched SpongeBob. And I don't know if there's enough of a big following. I may be completely wrong, but I don't know if there's enough of a big following to be able to really, because they look at market stuff and they're looking at saying, okay, if we were to sell this, what would be the price point? What would be the demographics we're looking at? I don't know. Is the buying power there for the whatever generation this falls under? G, B, X, R? I don't know what generation we are at now.
Well, I mean, you have to consider too that I don't remember what year that Lego had SpongeBob IP, but I would imagine that it was probably more popular, more relevant at that point. So at this point, years and years later, is it going to be worth it to go after that IP again?
Yeah.
Which I wonder about a lot of these different IPs of things that we've already kind of seen.
Mm-hmm.
Lego's had ample opportunity to explore those routes and don't.
So on a separate note, this is completely on a tangential line here. I would love to see somebody create a Rugrats something and have it thrown up. And the reason I say that right now is because I was just having this conversation with a coworker this morning at the time of this being recorded about some kid that had a Rugrat shirt on with the green dinosaur Reptar. And I was like, hey, do you know who that is? Not the kid. I was talking to a coworker. Do you know who that is? She's like, I said, it's Reptar. Yes, you're right. I think it's been around so long that, it is something. Now, maybe not everybody watch it. I'm still like a giant child, but I don't know. Some of that older stuff is making a resurgence and things. But anyway, that was a long tangent. Somebody do a Rugrats set, okay, and put it up on Ideas. You'll get my vote. I'll create 1,000 other fake accounts. I'm kidding. Yeah, I don't think it's going to happen. What about the Viking Village by Brickhammer? Love a name like that.
Okay, this is not the same as the other one, is it? This is slightly different. Okay, because there was the Target contest.
Yes.
Did the Viking Village not win that? I think it did. That's what's going to get made and be a Target exclusive.
Yeah.
By that reasoning, I would say this doesn't have a chance because you've already got something that's exclusive. And that was, that was an Ideas competition.
Yes, it was.
So to have two Ideas selections beat Viking Village might be
big fat no, unfortunately.
That's cool though. I like the roof.
I think the roof is pretty neat. I like the dragon heads there. I thought that was kind of neat. And I like the use that they have the smokestack or the stuff coming out of the smokestack. I think it's a interesting use of pieces there.
Yeah.
How about the Sikorsky S7 is it 70i Firehawk Cal Fire Edition? God, that's a long name.
I think it's cool.
I do too.
I mean,
it's a real
realistic.
world thing. This thing is flying not day in and day out, but this thing is always flying when it comes to, fire out there in California and stuff like that. And people who live in California know all about these. But as cool as it looks, I don't think it's going to get made. If the instructions were released on Reworkable, I'd be all over it.
Yeah.
If they're, that would be absolutely something I would do just because it's different. It's real world and it's fairly well done for a helicopter, honestly.
Yeah, I like it a lot. I don't usually do aircraft builds, but it does look like it's really well made.
I would find a way to hang it from the ceiling.
Nice.
I need some things suspended. What about the medieval guarded inn? Same Same path we've walked down.
Mhm.
Well, it looks nice. And I do like the use of the surfboards. I think that's going
Yeah.
to be something that would be looked at and they're like, yeah, no, it's not finished enough for us.
You know what would be just looking at like the smaller jut out on that building with the roof
Mhm.
tiles. There's those new half 2x2 round pieces
Yes.
now. That would be perfect for that.
You're right. Because those are the full rounded 2x2, aren't they?
Yeah, and they're
Yeah.
just stacked weird. But I mean,
That would be neat.
now I'm getting mock ideas. This is
See,
dangerous.
look at you. You're like, and I just spent $400 on pieces. Taskmaster. I don't know what this is a reference to. I don't know if this is like a British show or something because I see the red telephone booth that is down there.
It's a British show. I
Okay.
think it's like a game show. I don't know much
Okay.
about it.
I don't either.
So
We probably
mean-
should have had a resident Brit on here.
yeah.
I'm gonna stay away from it. I'm not gonna
The little camper is cute. I like that build.
Yeah.
The main building is kind of generic to me, but
It's not
I'm
too
sure
eye
fans of
catching.
it are
I'm
into
sure.
it.
If you're a fan, you're a fan. And now that they've done enough TV shows, popular TV shows, it's what it's gonna be.
Mm.
So yeah. Ski chalet. Yes. Yes. Looks very unfinished. I like it. If I'm not mistaken, it is motorized or it
It's
does have a way to
functional.
be moving. Yes, functional,
Mhm.
not motorized. I like that. Works
Yeah.
for me. I can see this kind of fitting in with a Winter Village type stuff. I just don't think it's going to get made.
I wish the building was bigger,
Yeah. I think you're right there.
but I love all the stuff that JK Brickworks does.
Yeah.
I'm a sucker for.
Well,
for-
do you think
seriously.
so? Let me ask you this. Do you think, and maybe everybody else listening, do you think that maybe JK has gotten to a certain point where, he submits an ideas project and it's automatically looked at like, this is JK's work. Should we take a really deep dive into this?
Mm.
Like, I mean, designers still have fans. They're still fans. They still watch people. They still, like see stuff like this and check things out like JK.
Mm.
I've got to wonder though, when stuff like this comes across the desk, are they like, hey, Sam, we need to have a serious chat about this.
Right. I
We
mean,
can't-
I wouldn't be surprised,
Because-
especially considering that the motorization in the
Yes.
stuff is always flawless. So going into it that like you're gonna have something that's solid.
You just got to make it look a little prettier maybe. And that isn't difficult for them to do.
Mm-hmm.
I'd love it though. I'd be okay with it. What about the red London telephone box, not booth? We've got a telephone box.
I like it. I feel like it would look really good next to the London bus if the scaling was right. But it is. I feel like it would be.
It looks a little too big.
Yeah, I feel like it would be kind of a strange thing to display on its own.
Because those are what, 2.5 brick windows? Are they 3 brick tall? That's pretty tall. Because I
Yeah.
can see the telephone piece right there for the handle.
Mhm.
That's a pretty tall build.
It's big. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think if it were to scale better, not that it might have a better chance. It just, I don't know. What about the witch house? We're coming up to Halloween here in about a month and a half. My favorite time of year.
I kind of get Snow White vibes from
Yeah,
this.
I know, right?
Like the house from that they kind of like ended up not doing. I
Yeah.
like it though. I like the shaping of it. This is cool. But it does read more medieval than a lot of things too. So, it's gorgeous though. I love it. I would buy this in a heartbeat.
Yeah, I like this one a lot. I think this definitely has potential. I just I wonder where it would be as far as curiosity purposes for Lego of, do we really get into this or not? Because the thing is, if it's not chosen until February of 2023, it's going to be, I don't know how far out they produce those things. It would be really cool if it were produced in time for Halloween of 2023. It'd
Yeah.
be really neat. The Terraria. I love this. I love this kind of silly stuff. I say
Yeah.
silly. It's not a silly build. I just love the cuts, the cutaway stuff. I love the way this is done.
Mhm.
I don't think it's going to get made, but this is really cool. It's
Yeah.
really well done.
No,
It's
I
just-
agree.
I think it's just too blocky, unfortunately. What about the old train engine shed?
I like it. I feel like it too could fit in pretty well in a city layout. It's not entirely my style, so I don't know that I would buy it, but I think it's well built.
Yeah, it is well built. I think it could fit with some stuff. I just don't think it'll unfortunately be chosen.
I really like the power line built.
Yeah, that's what caught my eye. There's good contrast here with all the colors that were chosen.
Mhm.
It pleases the eye.
Yeah.
What about the Great Wave of Kanagawa? I don't know, Kanagawa. You got kind of like a micro build going on here.
It's interesting.
It is interesting. I feel like it's something that should be in an art museum for Lego. It's
Yeah.
just different. Like you've got different sections and stuff like that. I feel like it belongs there.
If I'm not mistaken, this is actually based on a piece of art. So you're on the right path there.
See?
But yeah, I mean, it looks good. There's definitely some interesting build techniques to get the angles and stuff going there, but I probably wouldn't pick this up.
Okay, we move on to 29. The A Team. I love it when a plan comes together. You got the van back there. You got your 4 characters. How many times have we seen A Team? How many more
Quite a
times are we going to
few.
see A Team?
Right? Well, and we've
Not knocking the builder. I'm just saying it hasn't been chosen for a reason. And there's only
they've
so
already
many.
had
Yeah,
in
you're right.
dimensions.
Yeah, and I think
So-
there's only so many different ways you can build a van before you've done them all.
Yeah.
What about the next one? Gravity Falls, the Mystery Shack.
I think this is another resubmission too. I've seen quite a few things from Gravity Falls. I like this. It is very busy,
Yeah,
but
it's just got a lot of. It's like it has too much stuff,
mhm.
and I don't know. It's personally I don't like it, but that's just my opinion. It's like you said, I'm in the realm of it's too busy. I don't know what's going on. Therefore, it doesn't really appeal to me, and I'm just kind of like, all right, next. But
Yeah,
that's just me.
no.
That's not everybody.
Yeah, I feel like if I was a fan of the show or something, that might be more. I might be more drawn to it, but
No, I get it.
Eh.
All right, the Treasury, Petra.
I'm giving this a big no.
No, is
Big no.
too monochromatic.
Yeah, it's way too Coliseum-esque.
Yeah,
I don't
too-
just want a
It's-
big
I
tan.
think somebody just bought Coliseum pieces.
you
and
know,
just,
maybe.
What'd you buy the Coliseum for? Pieces. What about the
Yeah.
Chinese garden here? I like that it's on an elevated platform, and it's a
Mhm.
decorative elevated platform. But I think again, my opinion, I think it's going to fall too close to the other stuff that we've seen. Chinese New Year, Ninjago, Monkey Kid, that kind of stuff. I think it's just too close.
Okay, hear me out.
Crap, here we go.
You built Ninjago City Gardens, did you not?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, there's an additional piece that locks in on the side of that, right? That has
Mhm.
a little pond with a tree and a pagoda
Yeah.
that's not the same and obviously different scaling, but it is very, very similar to me.
Yeah.
For that reason, I don't think that has.
Oh, I thought you were going
chance.
somewhere else. I thought you were going. Now, hear me out. This is why it's going to get made. Like I thought
No,
you were
it just,
going
like,
on.
No. Just the second I saw it, I was like, this looks just like the edition for
Yeah, it
Ninjago
does.
City Gardens. Like,
It
what the
does.
heck?
Yeah.
It's obviously way more detailed and larger, but
Of course, yeah. But Ninjago fans don't care about that.
I mean, sure.
They're like it's Ninjago of the Sony Walkman. I think this is really cool looking. You know, you talked about stuff when we were talking about the Polaroid about things that there is a spot where for a theme line where things are like just displayable.
Mhm.
This is another one. I like the tape. I love the use of the chain pieces. I thought that was kind of neat. But
Mhm.
what's your thought? Or what are
I
your
like
thoughts?
it. I agree that this would fit very well on a shelf with the Polaroid. Like,
Yeah.
I think that Lego could do a lot of things to sort of explore 80s-ish generation stuff, and it would go over really well with the AFOL audience that has blown up over the last few years.
I know. They're bringing in some money from that the AFL side. I like this. This is absolutely something that would get my attention, and depending on what Lego did with it, I could easily foresee pennies going that way.
Mm-hmm.
What about the golden trumpet tree with park bench?
This looks like a GWP to me.
Yeah, I thought the same thing. I think the tree is a little too bulky, a little too much. But yeah, that's what I thought too. I could see this as a GWP. I don't know what you would tag it with or whatever, or it's just standalone, but it's pretty. I like it.
Yeah, it is way too dense with branches, I think.
I would not want to build that, honestly. It's cute. It's pretty. I'm just thinking of like all the crap that went into the bonsai tree alone. And I'm like, this is like 3 times as much. So yeah. Heartstopper, Charlie's Room. Obviously a show I have no idea about. Heartstopper.
Yeah, I've got nothing on this. The figures look really good. I'm here for
the
figures.
I love the figures.
That's I think my favorite part of Lego doing TV shows and stuff like that is the figures that they put out are really top notch and fit in so much better for sig fig torsos and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean this just looks like generic room to me. It's very Big Bang Theory-ish.
That's what I thought too. Yeah. I do like the long tooth type piece that they use there for the shelves. What looks like it's supposed to be the wall support for the shelves. I thought that was kind of neat. Another medieval one, Watchtower. This is way too close to what we just got.
Peter Keith is an absolutely incredible medieval mock builder.
I agree, but I think it's just way too close to what we've gotten. Maybe they just need to bring him in-house and continue the medieval stuff.
Yeah.
And go that way.
Yeah.
What about the Garfield 2-in-1?
This is really cute. I mean, I grew up with Garfield.
Yes.
So I really like this. I'm kind of bummed that you don't see the other build from their promotional image or whatever that they have listed. Because I actually think I like the alternate build better. That's him in his little cat bed. Right. But it's cute. I don't think that they'll go down the Garfield route, but it's cute.
No, absolutely not. What about the Armada port?
More pirates.
I know. I need more pirate in my life. I
am kind of surprised, to be honest. I know that, they did for the 90th, they did Classic Castle, Classic Space for, because they realized that people really wanted those. But you could have, and they still may, who knows? You could have brought some more pirates in. There's a lot of themes that you could sort of pay homage to for the 90th anniversary. And even though we just got Barracuda Bay a few years ago, I don't think that we'll get another Ideas Pirates thing, but I'll have my fingers crossed that they explore something further with classic pirates.
What about the next one?
Ed and Edna's Scrap Junkyard. I don't know what it's from.
It's from Ninjago!
Really?
Yes! Ninjago fans are just...
I'm not the Ninjago expert here!
I was waiting for you to say it. Because I was looking for your reaction. By the way, guys, I'm able to watch April's face as we're going through this, and she can see mine. And I intentionally wanted you to read this off because your face was like dumbfounded of like, what the hell am I looking at here?
I mean, yeah.
I know. This is from Ninjago. It's Jay's parents. It looks nice. I don't think it's going to get made. This is something I think somebody could kind of mock up themselves and make. The only reason it got to the 10K, I shouldn't say the only reason it got to the 10K is because the Ninjago community is like, boom, and they just jumped all over it. But
I feel like this would be better suited as a playset that's been a little more modified.
Well, if it were going to be Lego that goes back with the legacy stuff, I don't know if they're going to continue that with Ninjago or not. But if they do, this is something because this is from the first few seasons. So Mata Nui Rises Bionicle tribute set.
Oh, Bionicle.
Yeah, Bonko people, y'all had your chance and y'all didn't show up. When was that? That was over a year ago. you had a chance, you didn't show up.
To be fair, that
okay,
no
you're
offense to the person who built that, but that was not the best representation, I don't think,
you're right.
of the Bonkle community and what they would want moving forward. I'm not entirely sure that this is either, but you know, I'm almost to the point now where I will set aside time for someone to just make a couple of the old like Bionicle figures. Just do it. Just do it. Put them out on the shelf, see how it goes. Like, honestly, at this point, this isn't something for me. I wouldn't pick this up, but I think that this is probably closer to what Bionicle fans want than their last shot.
Yeah, absolutely. What about the working log flume fairground water coaster? Hello, I loved the water flume when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
I would probably not get on as an adult because it scares the crap out of me. Because I'm afraid I'm gonna die or something. Because it doesn't feel like the safest ride, but
yeah, no.
I like it. I don't think it's gonna get made. It'd be a cool addition to the fairground stuff, but I don't think it's gonna get made. I think it needs some more thinking, some more thought out plan to it. But if it works, it works. Like if it's functional, I'm all right. Baron von Baron, he's done some cool stuff before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I really like this, and I mean, obviously we're still getting fairground sets at least every couple of years, if not every year. So, you know, when are you going to start looking at stuff like this?
Hopefully soon.
Right?
What about the sea turtle?
I like it. It's a very nice model. I don't know that I'd pick it up, but I like the way it looks. It's very well built from what I can see.
I feel at peace looking at this model. Like I feel very zen right now. Like a wave of calm, no pun intended, because there's a wave behind it. I feel very calm and relaxed. Like if this became a model, I think I would have to get a nice print of the back screen that they have, the background there, and just sit it. Just so pretty.
Pick up one of those aquarium backdrop things.
The aquarium backdrop. That's what I'm talking about. All right. Well, what I thought was kind of neat is we've seen the placard cards for UCS models and other models. And they have one here for the sea turtle. There's some facts in there. I can't read it, but I like that. I thought that was kind of neat.
See, that makes me wonder. I didn't look into this very much, but that makes me think that this thing is huge. Like if it needs name placard.
Like, how many pieces are you made of?
This is like the Millennium Falcon, but turtle version.
It's only 1,700 pieces.
Okay.
It's only 1,700 pieces. They're custom decals on it, which most of these are custom decals, but I love the way it's done. I think it's pretty sharp. I'll let you take the next one.
I feel like this is the third or fourth round that we've got a Ratatouille set. I think that this is different than the last one that we got.
It is.
I love Ratatouille. It's one of my favorite movies.
Ratatouille. No one gets that reference. Like, it's in the movie. Anyway, sorry. Ratatouille.
I feel like if they haven't done it yet.
Anyway.
I feel like if they haven't done it yet, there's a reason why. Because there's been this many iterations of it. You know, it is a little close to modular-ish. Almost all of them have been close to modular scale, which would be great to have like a nice restaurant, you know, whatever. But then you're hitting that sort of rule that we have of no modulars.
Yeah. It's not going to happen. It's been on here too many times of different stuff. I just don't see it happening.
Way too close to the boutique.
Okay, now let's get to the good one. The Clockwork Solar System. As soon as this got denied the last round, it immediately hit 10K. It seemed like in a matter of like a week.
Yep.
And if he's listening, Brett Waller. No, I'm kidding, Brent. Because everybody calls you Brett. Brett Waller. It is Brent Waller, you fools. I would be okay with this if this got made again. I think it's going to get passed over again. I think there's too much involved with it. And if you look at the specs in it and stuff, as great as this thing is, I think it's just too big. 3,000 pieces. I just think it's too big.
Yeah.
I think it's too
so
labor
gorgeous.
intensive. It would be a great Technic type set for somebody, that has that mix of Technic and then you have some of the standard. But I think for the most part, it's just not going to happen. The design behind it is fantastic. I would love to see this actually work. I don't know if there's a video out of there of it, but Chris Orchard and Brent, by the way. Sorry, I didn't want to leave Chris out of that, but because they're both great designers in their own right. But man, I would love to see it made. I just wouldn't want to pay for it.
Oh yeah, this would be very high dollar, but it's just so gorgeous.
It is. It is very G for another movie reference there. April's like, I'm done with your movie references. Shut up. Bluey. What is Bluey? Obviously, it's some kind of series, right?
Yes. Bluey is an Australian kids show that has been around for a couple years and now is sort of gaining traction in the US. I love this. It's adorable. Bluey is something that my kids watch, so like I've seen it. I know the stuff. Like they're cute. I don't think it'll get made because I think ideas isn't the right category for something that is this level of kid stuff. Winnie the Pooh, Sesame Street, like have a different sort of. You're dealing with people who were watching that back then. Bluey is too new for idea stuff is mostly 16 plus.
Yeah, it is.
You're not really hitting that right target audience, but I would 100% support Lego getting the IP for Bluey and doing play sets. I think
I'd be okay with it. I like the way it looks. It looks fun. I need to search this out. I like the builds of the little Bluey characters. I think that's kind of cool. A lot of little pieces in there, but I like the way it's done. All right. This next one here, it's the Goonies 360 Degrees. Never seen this movie. Shut up. I'm kidding. I was waiting for the face. Y'all, I was waiting on the face. I was waiting. It was going to be one of two things. It was either what you just did of like, or it was going to be like, just you put your head in your hands.
Just disappoint. Just pure disappointment in you.
No. I love this. I love that movie. But I like this build. I think, if I'm not mistaken, we've seen Goonies stuff in the past, right?
We have.
For some reason, I want to say we had to ship. Maybe I don't know. I can't remember. But I like the way this is done, and it is a 360 degree build, so it's not ugly on one side, or pretty on three sides and ugly on one side. It's really nicely done the whole way around. Yeah.
Also a Dimensions IP.
See, I was not a Dimensions person. That's why I have you here. I'm kidding. That's not the only reason. I like it. I would be okay if this got made. Absolutely.
Yeah, agreed.
What about the Lego cats?
I have real mixed feelings about this because they're really well done and
They are
very, very aesthetically pleasing to me. And I'm not a cat person. Sorry, cat people. but like they're really gorgeous. And I think I would probably buy it if it was made.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think
probably.
I would.
You know what I would do? I would buy it just to freak my dogs out.
Yeah.
Because they would bark at it and not realize that it's not real.
Yeah.
Especially my little dogs that bark at everything. But I would probably buy it as well. Thomas the Tank Engine. My nephew would be all over this. Don't think it's going to happen. If Lego were somehow able to afford the IP to be able to dip into Thomas the Tank Engine, holy crap, they would make a lot of money.
There was some part of me that thought that Mega might have had the IP for Thomas.
Probably.
If so,
but
that would
it
be
seems
an
like it
instant
would.
no.
Yes, it seems like it fits Mega Constructs better, just because their parts are. They're different than Lego. They're trying to be similar but not the same. Or is it Mega Blocks? I don't know. Whoever.
No, yeah.
Who cares? No. It's
This
not
would be
Lego. I
great
don't
for
care.
Duplo to me.
Yes. Yeah.
I don't see this as a
That's why I
normal
said
brick
I think it
build.
would be. But then you would also. So let's walk down that road. Let's say, for instance, they did go to Duplo. Lego was able to secure that. Duplo's expensive as can be compared to, something that is brick built like this. I don't know that you would be able to beat out another toy company that does Thomas the Tank Engine, like, the actual individual train pieces and stuff. I don't know.
Yeah.
We got a few left. The ancient Greek temple. This I feel some Assassin's Creed vibes here from
Yeah.
Origins, maybe. I can't remember which one it is.
Yeah.
Some definite vibes here. I like the way this is done. I think it's really cool. I don't, even if it came out, even let's say it was even made, I don't know that it would be something that I would buy, just because I would look at it and I would say, I don't know what to do with you.
Yeah.
I don't know where to sit you. I don't know what to pair you with, but I like you.
Yeah. I feel like this is also a resubmission.
See,
feel like
I
I've
could
seen
not
this.
remember.
I think that it's a little bit busy in the landscape around the building. I think
Yeah,
you could cut off part of that.
It could stand to lose a little bit, soften
But-
some things.
Yeah, I mean, this isn't anything that would fit as a display piece with anything that I own, honestly.
No, absolutely not. But it is cool. I like it. I like the aesthetic of it. What about Night at the Museum? Reopen the doors. We is Carly Erdy, and Brick Project did the Ratatouille. This is Carly Erdy that did just this. A few
And
people.
this is a resubmission?
Yeah, I think this was.
Maybe.
It's
It's not the
I love
first
the
time
movie.
we've had this.
No,
Yeah.
I love the movie. I love what it could be. I just don't see it here, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I think it's missing too much.
Yeah.
So let's get to the last one here. And I've been waiting for this one. This could have been number one, but it probably would have been a problem because I could have probably talked on it for 35 minutes. I love this movie, The Nightmare Before Christmas. This setup here, the build techniques that were used here are phenomenal to get those weird angles from the film.
Yeah.
I love it. I would absolutely be all in on this. And while it's large, it's not something that I don't think that people would like. I feel like people would find a way to have it,
Part of me wonders about the structural integrity of Jack's house, but
yeah.
just because it's so tall and there's not a lot of, like, with the
There's
way that
not.
it's angled out, there's
Right.
not a lot of support there. But I mean, obviously it's good and it's gorgeous. I love it. I would have this in an instant.
Oh yeah. This would go well with Halloween stuff, of course. But yeah. Oh my gosh, I love this. I absolutely love this. I want it. I need it. I need it. I need the real minifigs though. But so there's a lot here. We went through a lot, guys. 51 projects. How many? I'm gonna put you on right on the spot, April. How many of these do you personally think are gonna get chosen?
No more than 2.
Really?
Yeah.
I was okay.
I would not be surprised to see 1.
Oof. After the last time, I would not be surprised at this point. No, I never thought that was going to be a thing. I was thinking 2 to 3, where I was at in my head. So just having somebody else say 2, I'm like, man, really that low? But we went through them. I mean, there's a lot that I think it's an automatic no. I think half of these are an automatic no.
Yeah.
And then you add in, stuff that looks really good, has some really good potential, and it's like, well, does Lego want to go that way? I don't know. I'm not in that headspace. I'm not a designer. I'm not on the design team. I'm not the people that make the decisions. I'm not in marketing. I think it has potential. A lot of these do, but you're talking about some things that are really, really good looking and built really well. And I don't know. So you guys will have to wait until February. I'm sure we'll have something at that point in time where you're like, hey, let's do a show about the project, the one project that got chosen and the other 50 that didn't.
Right. See, it's interesting to me though, because with all the hullabaloo like a year ago about the Ideas system, and Lego's response being that they thought that it was going to slow down, quote unquote, post COVID, like when people don't have as much time to commit
when people
to
weren't
doing this
locked
stuff.
in their homes.
Right. And you know, we had some like slower ish rounds with 30 submissions, and now we're back up to 51. So I mean, is that truly where we're going to be? And if so, do we need to look at raising the bar for amount of votes to get in, or deciding that, hey, if we've got this many, we need to do 2 or 3, because they do get a backlog too of the sets that are in Ideas. We've got a pretty decent backlog right now.
Yes. And you know, I look at things that have come out and things that are coming out. And you know, you look at like the typewriter, you look at the Van Gogh painting, you look at the lighthouse. Those are some really hard things to compete with. But then I also look at like the guitar, and I'm like, what?
Yeah.
So I don't know, like that is something that you sit and display, right? And we talked about the Polaroid, we talked about the Walkman. Those are kind of the same, in the same vein. So it's really a guessing game as to where they go with what they choose. Because like you said, if they were to choose one right out of the box, it'd be like, okay, I'm a little disappointed, not super shocked, but then, you know, what is it going to be?
Yeah.
I don't know. So, well, interesting. Any final thoughts?
I think there's a lot of great contenders. I think there's some in here that I'm going to be bummed if they don't get picked. And I think that at some point in the future, maybe Lego needs to come up with a more structured plan for these things, to just say, hey, we're only going to do one. I think less people would submit things if they had something there that says, this is what it's going to be. We're going to do this 4 times a year or whatever. And we pick one every time.
Well, let me ask you that then. Okay. On that thought, with, let's say they put out something and they say, hey, we're only going to really choose one every, you know, time we have this submission, you know, however many projects. Do you think that would be something that they might do? Just because I'm thinking, like, when you said that, immediately I was thinking, okay, they're a company that creates a toy and they always want people that, you know, the build initiative. They always want people building and stuff like that. And it's like, well, would that push people away? Would that, and I would be okay if they set out and said, we're only going to choose one. We're only going to choose 2 because whatever, just because. At least it would give people an idea of like, okay, I'm going to still submit it, but I have realistic expectation of, instead of hoping that there's like 4 or 5 chosen, there's 2 or there's 1.
Right.
And at least, you know, you're not sitting there like trying to get your hopes up. Like, I need all the clicks in the world. Somebody please go over here, which I don't have a problem people soliciting, you know, to get people to sign up for their project, but I'd be okay. I'd be okay with that. So,
well, I think that would control the backlog of things that they need to do as well. And we wouldn't have to wait as long.
Yeah, because right now it seems like it takes forever. I get so excited. I'm like, oh, that was chosen, like the Van Gogh. And it's like, it's going to be how long?
Yeah.
Sucks. But, well, April, thank you for coming on and chatting with me. And I hope you guys have enjoyed this. We'll do some more of this kind of stuff here in the future. I don't know what it's all going to look like, but it's going to be there. But thanks for coming on and hopping on with me, April, and spilling your brain for the last hour.
Yeah, thanks for having me, as always.
All right, guys. You can check April B on all the socials. April B. There's no underscore, is there?
My Instagram is AprilB_RLFM.
See, there is an underscore.
Mm.
You underscore people kill me. But you guys can go check that out if you haven't figured that out already. Those of you that are longtime listeners, you already know. But welcome to the Bricks King podcast, where I'm going to bend your ear about Lego, review those amazing bricks of plastic, and discuss what is new and up and coming around the Lego world. I'm your Minifigure ghost, Matt. Let's build on it. Welcome in, everybody. How are we doing today? Today, I am joined by an awesome guest. Of course, you know who this person is, but you're gonna have to wait. unless you read the description. Grab! Then it's already out. Anyway, so we are joined today by April B., and we are talking about the 51 LEGO idea sets, well, that are up for review for the upcoming year. And there's a lot of good stuff, and there's a lot of not good stuff. But I'm going to let you determine what you think. Make sure, as I mentioned in here, make sure you guys pull up Brick Set or LEGO Ideas and you follow along so you have an idea of what you're looking at, because it's a lot of stuff and it's a lot of information. So without further ado, let's kick off into it. Here we go. Well, that's going to wrap up this episode here for, well, another episode. So I hope you guys enjoyed this one. I did. It was a blast talking with April and just running through these. I mean, 51 potential sets that could be, vying for your dollars in your wallet or euro or pounds or whatever, wherever you live around the world. Anyway, so with that in mind, this is going to wrap it up. And until we meet again, I'm your minifig ghost, Matt. Let's build on it.